So obviously, as most of you know, I'm Jonas Christensen. I was born in York and I went to York High School. Then after York, I went to Doane.
So I grew up in Wood River. I come from a long line of farmers.
And I graduated with biochemistry and I played a lot of golf. And then I entered the real world, which was super fun, and got a job.
And I kind of always knew I wanted to go to law school, so I studied in a lot of things. I think I ended up with 3 degrees, but I ultimately went to law school and I just graduated what would have been a month ago now, and I will take the bar, and at the time of this, I will have already taken and hopefully passed.
So the first time I met Jenna, we were on the golf course, of course, and I was a freshman, and I was a pretty cocky freshman at that for golf.
We were at the golf course, and I had played the front nine with some of the boys golfers, and they said that the new freshmen were joining them for the back nine, but I really didn't care to join for the back nine, but for some reason I decided I should.
I had no idea who she was. I was just with some upperclassmen, and they said that some girls were going to be joining us, so I said that's fine as long as they can actually play golf, of course.
And so we made the turn at Wilderness, and we went to the 10th tee, which is where Jonas and a few other freshmen, I can't even tell you who the other freshmen were, but they were on the 10th tee, and so we played the back nine together, and I really didn't like him. He picked on me the entire time and made fun of girls golf in general, and I got done, and I don't really know why we became friends after that, but for like the entirety of his freshman year, we were just really good friends.
That was the first time that we met. I guess we played golf together.
And then at some point in time, things just changed and we stopped being friends and started dating.
Neither of us can really remember what would be considered our first date, I guess, but we played a lot of golf thereafter of meeting, and a lot of hanging out, a lot of Mario Kart.
Well, so for a long time we were just in this like weird, didn't know how to label it, and I remember I was with my friend Lisa and we were coming back from either Lincoln or Omaha or something, and Jonas was texting me asking me about this girl he liked and what he should say to her, and I turned to Lisa and I said, Jonas likes somebody else and I'm not okay with that. And so I gave him bad relationship advice, and it didn't work out with him and the other girl. So one day I finally was like, well, people keep asking me if we're dating or who you are when I introduce you, and so can I just say that you're my boyfriend? And he said, yeah, that's fine. So that was the day we started dating.
As busy as I was in college with golf and studying, it always came back to thinking about hanging out with her or doing something with her.
He came over to my house, and I remember being somewhat weirded out that he brought 2 of his high school female friends with him. And so we had Halloween at my apartment, and he left and he came back, and it had started to like either snow or sleet or something. And I opened my door, and that's when he kissed me. And that's the one we tell people.
From what I remember, our first kiss would have been at her apartment. It was nothing extremely romantic or anything like that, but I would assume it was probably after one of the Mario Kart tournaments of the night, from what I can remember anyhow.
I don't know if there was ever like a day where I just woke up and was like, I think I'm gonna marry Jonas. It was more just, you can't picture your life without him. I
think it was in between all those revelations that I realized I loved her, of coming back to thinking about doing things with her all the time.
He just became my best friend, and so as we both got older and he finished college and I got closer to the end of law school and I got the job that I knew I wanted to be in for at least a long time, and all the people around us started getting married, and I guess finally one day it was, the thought of him leaving wasn't bearable, and so I guess it was, get married was the next step.
It wasn't an actual moment or anything like that, but as you keep getting more and more things on your plate in life, you keep having to rely on more and more people. And I just found myself relying on her the most, I guess.
Late October, it was like a relatively nice day out. for October, and so we went golfing.
It was not a very nice day. We were dressed in, I think, rain pants and cold weather gear.
And we're both members at Yankee Hill, and so we had played like the first 9 or so holes there. And he said that he wanted to golf with his friend Logan, and so he asked if we wanted to go to Wilderness, which I thought was weird because we hadn't golfed there since we graduated, and we were members at Yankee and we'd have to pay to play at Wilderness. And so I thought that was weird, but I didn't think anything of it.
I proposed to her on the same exact hole that we met on at Wilderness Ridge.
And we got to the 10th hole, which is where we met, and he hit his ball. We went to my tee box. I go to hit my ball, and I put the ball on the tee, and he goes, well, aren't you gonna make sure that's your ball? Which I think is weird because he knows I steal all the balls out of his bag anyway.
I surprised her on the tee box where I first introduced myself to her, and I did it with a golf ball that said, will you marry me on it?
And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my ball. And so I get ready to hit it, and I'm like moments away from hitting it, and he's like, well, you better check.
I think at first she was shocked because I just threw the golf ball to her out of the golf cart, and then I snuck up behind her. I think she was just gonna hit it instead of actually reading the golf ball, so I was a little bit worried about that at first. But once she read it, I think her reaction, it took a split second, but she was pretty surprised.
And so I was like, okay, so I pick it up, and it said, Jenna, will you marry me on it? And I turned around, and there he was on one knee.
The thing that I like best about Jenna, I would say, is that I can always depend on her. Having people in my life to depend on, especially friends, and her being my best friend, being able to depend on her means the world to me, because if you can't depend on someone, you can't rely on them, you can't trust them to do anything for you, or with you, or help you, or anything like that.
Jonas is the most driven person I have ever met. I mean, I took golf pretty seriously in college, and he put me to shame. When he wants to be good at something or he really likes something, he works incredibly hard. I've never met anyone who works as hard as he does, and he just, if he does things, he does them to his full potential, and he's just not gonna half-ass it. And that motivates me to want to do better or just to be better, whether that's at golf or whatever I'm working on. It's incredibly hard to try and be lazy. I haven't taken a nap in I don't know how many years because of Jonas. But that's just because he always wants to do something, and he always wants to be active, and he wants to go explore. And I just think that brings out the best of me.
I don't know, I think it's her ability to care for people or to want to be there for people. I think that is probably one of her best qualities.
A lot of people, when Jonas and I started dating, were shocked because Jonas is so quiet and reserved, and I'm pretty loud and outgoing, I would say.
The biggest difference, I would say, it probably used to be that she thought that she was very much of an outgoing person and wanted to go out and hang out with a lot of people. And any of my friends and family would know that I'm exactly the opposite, that I kind of have a group I hang with, but if it's not in my basement, it rarely happens.
But when Jonas is around me, he's an entirely different person, and when he's laughing and joking, he only does it around me, which just makes it special. But I am definitely the talker, and he is the quiet one. As
she's spent more time with me, I think she's structured back to that more, but I think that's also one of the best qualities, is that she gets me out of my bubble when I need to and when I never want to.
I definitely see us having kids. Jonas is such a great dad, and he's so good with his nephews, and seeing how he is with Logan and Eric just makes me want to have children with him. And so I definitely see us in the future having the American dream of 2.5 kids and a black lab, white picket fence.
I hope that we are still living in our house that we have been moving into for what seems like a year now, because I do not want to move again. Hopefully we have dogs by then, because I'm already being bothered about dogs. And maybe some cool kids, as cool as my nephews, running around the house would be pretty sweet.
Jonas, I am very happy that all of this wedding planning is over, so that you can go to the golf course and not put stamps on wedding invites like I've made you do.
So Jenna, we finally got married. It finally happened. We don't have to talk about it anymore every single minute of the day. So just so you know, I'm very excited for that.
I can't wait to spend the rest of our life together. I'm so excited for the things that we do and the things that we'll get to do, and just to see how our relationship grows and the places that we'll go and the things that we'll do. It's just all very exciting.
But also I'm very excited to start the rest of our life together. I think that we're gonna have so much fun and we're gonna accomplish so much together, more than we ever could have if we were apart or if we didn't know each other. And I just want you to know that I love you and I'm very excited.
And you're my best friend, and I love you more than I could ever describe. And I'm ready to get this wedding done and over with and just start our future.